All the women today got lips swollen like a baboon's booty hole for some. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that works. We did a reaction video to our buddy Snooks here. Yeah, he made a video titled, let's see what we got here. It's called How I Woke Up as a 35-year-old Loser and How You Can Avoid It. Okay. There's a first reaction video that we did up here. You guys can see it wherever it might be. And this is the second video of that. I had to cut into 2 parts because there's just a lot to dissect here. But let's go ahead and get into it. It's a continuation of the previous video.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I worked there for 12 years. So I got fired, laid off, downsized, whatever you want to call it. Whatever way you want to church it up. I couldn't keep my job, but other people did. So call it fired if you want.
Yeah, fired.
And then about 6 months later, I turned 35 years old. And when I got fired, I had a small 401k, about $20,000, $25,000.
This is the good part. Let's see. Now, yeah, I'm curious too. I'm curious what he did with all his, what's his financial situation now? I'm super curious. Okay, so this video was made 2 months ago. He's 35. He got fired 6 months ago, and at the moment that he got fired and all this kind of stuff, what is his financial situation? Let's check it out.
About 6 months later, I turned 35 years old. And when I got fired, I had a small 401k, about $20,000, $25,000. And I cashed it out. I used it to pay off my car, which is probably the only good financial decision I've ever made.
Oh my God, Snooks, why did you? If you take money out of your 401k and your Roth and all that stuff early, there's like a penalty for that Snooks, man, come on, man.
Is to pay off my car. My car has less than 70,000 miles on it, and it's a Toyota, so that could probably last me a little while if I take care of it. Don't have a car payment anymore. I do, however, have credit card debt and a personal loan totaling about less than $10,000 in debt. But last couple of months, and again, I am laying it all out here. This is embarrassing to say. The last couple of months, I have been missing payments. Still don't have a job. Why don't you have a job?
At least he's honest, dude. But I'm just thinking about this, and I'm thinking about like the younger cousins and the younger family in my life, all this kind of stuff, and at least he's honest. Let's see what else he has. I'm reacting like this because I care. I'm like I want success for people, right? And I'm like, why are you guys? Some people out there making some moves and making some decisions, and I'm like, why? Let's hear what else he has to say here.
Because I'm a fucking idiot. I have been looking. I just went to Cumberland Farms for an interview that I had scheduled, and they weren't even hiring. Isn't that great? You apply on Indeed. They automatically enroll you for an interview. You spend all this time filling out these forms. You schedule the interview, but you never actually dealt with a person. And I show up. The lady has no idea what I'm talking about. Apparently the computer systems, I'm assuming they simply just didn't take the time to toggle a setting to not automatically interview people.
Hey, I've been there too, guys. Nobody out here is born, knowing all these things. I worked all kinds of odd jobs. I worked like, car sales. I was selling newspapers, doing all kinds of stuff, running around, trying all kinds of different things, joining, MLM multi-level marketing, standing in front of people's living rooms and trying to get them to join or buy a service or some of those kind of stuff. Man, I have a list. I have a long list of things I've tried, but I didn't stagnate, man. I found ways. I didn't, my end result after all that was not, my best option now when Dookie hits the fan, I'm going to go do pizza delivery. I've leveled myself up to where I have all kinds of skills and abilities that I could charge. There's all kinds of stuff that I can do now. You could drop me anywhere and I'll be successful. It doesn't matter. I've created these things around my life where I can, I don't depend on, compare that to individuals who, my mentality is if I'm able to do it, other people should be able to do it too. And if I see someone out there who has done amazing things, even more than me, first of all, I'm going to congratulate them. Second of all, I'm going to be like, well, how now they have a target on their back, because if they're able to do it, there's no way I'm not able to do it. And that's my mentality. So I have high expectations for Snook. I don't want Snook to be out here struggling like this. This is just there's no excuse for it really. I'm not going to say any. I'm trying to not to say anything negative, but my mentality is this is there's no excuse for being in the position that you're in. You gotta pick yourself up by the bootstraps. You got to get out there. You got to find some people, reach out, do some, there's a, 35 is not, it's not too late, bro. You still have what before you hit 65, what is that, another 30 years to make some stuff happen, so in all kinds of different ways. So let's see what else he has to say.
But either way, it's still on me because I knew in the back of my head I haven't talked to a person yet. I feel like there's not a security to this interview because I haven't spoken to a human being yet, and maybe I should call them or something, and I never did. And then a few days later, I show up bright and early at 9 a.m., which for me is very difficult right now because my sleep schedule is so messed up. I'm basically up all night, and I show up there.
So he's out here going to interviews. He's doing what he can. He's trying what he's doing the best he can with what he knows that he can do. And here he's saying that he apparently got scammed into some interview where they're just wasting his time. There is a right way and a wrong way of going through the whole process as well. And I don't know what kind of position he's interviewing for. I'm guessing it might have been management because he, that's the one high level position that I do feel like Snooks, if he doesn't try to learn anything new or do anything else, probably could, manage people. So yeah, let's see. I'm guessing that's what it was.
Half asleep but trying to look presentable, and for Cumberland Farms, and no interview, no idea what I was talking about. And for a minute, I was really crestfallen. Part of me was relieved because I don't want to work at Cumberland Farms. And I went home to my mother.
I don't even know what Cumberland Farms is.
And I was just like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was distraught when I got home. By the time I got home, I kind of calmed down. I was like, whatever. And I was looking at my Indeed resume, and I applied to a couple of places that were kind of similar to what I used to do. Haven't gotten any calls back on those. I need to interview for like 100 a day. I understand I have to do that. This is a skill set I do not have, and I have to rapidly learn. But I was looking at my Indeed resume, and I read it out loud. I'm not going to do that here, but I read it out loud, and I read it to my mom, and she listened, and we both kind of agreed. She, she told me, and I kind of agreed and felt good about that. It was a good description of my job, right? You put
I got a video, guys, where I talk about resumes and how to do these resumes properly, especially in the industries where it requires you to have some skills like in engineering or things of that nature. But his is management, so we'll see. But if you guys are curious, check that out.
your job in the resume, the years that you were there, and then you have a little blurb explaining what you were doing. And it's kind of a way to both signal the kind of work you were doing, but also the kind of person you are through the way you present it, with writing and persuasive writing, marketing yourself a little bit without being clumsy about it. And we both agreed it was a good blurb, a good resume blurb, whatever you want to call it. It was intelligent.
See, the thing is, this guy, I mean, Snooks is out here being, just, laying it all out there. And it's not like he's sitting around not doing anything, right? There's a lot of people who are whining and complaining, but they're not doing anything. Snooks, our buddy Snooks, is actually out here trying. At least he's trying, right? And you can't knock him for trying. It's just maybe some minor tweaks here and there, and he'll land something. So let's see what else.
Intelligent. It was cogent. It was comprehensive. Although there's one duty I realized I forgot to add to it. I have to go and add, but it's comprehensive. It was clear, well written. It helped. It kind of highlighted some softer skills I have that are useful, like image editing and writing. And I went from, because like at this time I'd really only been looking for like retail because I had spent so many years in this job doing the bare minimum and being a terrible employee, the worst kind of employee. I kind of wasn't even bothering to look for anything adjacent to what I was doing. I was just looking for retail because I know I can do. I was selling myself short. I wasn't giving myself enough credit for my intelligence and my experience. And again, very low level stuff, but it's better than Walmart. Better than Burger King. And I'm not trying to look down on anyone who works there. I'm just saying in terms of the marketability of skills and experience, it's.
And I'm not looking down at you, Snooks. I just wish better for you, man. I mean, you're capable of a lot. and anyone else who's watching this, you guys out there, as well as Snooks, you guys are capable of a lot. I mean, yeah, I don't want to. Let's just make some stuff happen, Snook. I hope you got some good news in this video. So
It's better than if I had just worked at Walmart the whole time. So after I discussed this with her, my mother, who I live with, I made the decision, well, maybe I shouldn't set my sights so low, right? Maybe I shouldn't just go to Cumberland Farms. I'm going to have to work retail or something in the short term because I need money. I need income. But at the same time, I've been applying to these more adjacent positions at companies, title companies, mortgage companies, banks, that kind of thing. And in doing this, my sights were set on something a little higher and more ambitious than retail. Because I realized, retail, especially 35 years old, you think, I'm just going to do it for a year or two. I'll get my feet under me. And then you wake up at 50 years old and you're still working retail. It's really easy, especially if you make it work and you get enough jobs and you put enough hours together that you can pay your basic rent at a shitty apartment. And then because you're working so many hours and it's so soul crushing, the jobs that you're doing and the compensation you're getting, you have no energy left or ambition left, energy, happiness, good vibes left to get out of it, to go to school, to set your sights higher, to start a business, whatever it is. It just becomes kind of enough. And you're also so depleted at the end of it that the effort required to get out of it is just too much. And the older that you get, the less energy you have, so that it just compounds and compounds. So while I was in this headspace of recalibrating my abilities and capabilities, setting my sights a little higher than Walmart or Burger King, I'm not going to name the field, only because if I do get into this, I want as much as possible to keep my professional and my streaming life separate. So I'm not going to give too many details on the exact field. I feel bad about this because I want to be totally open and honest, but at the same time, just for risk mitigation, I have to be a little bit opaque about this. But suffice it to say, the field is, business-oriented kind of, not business owning, but business-oriented. And if you spend your time to upskill and all that, and you put in crazy hours for a few years, and you're really driven and hungry, you can make decent money. Not millionaire status, but you can make a few $100,000 if you're really good and you go to higher levels.
Even millionaire status is possible, Snooks. But it's only if you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to put in the hustle, you're willing to upskill, and you're willing to properly and legitimately go ahead, put your head down and go after it. Laziness is not going to work.
But even at the lower and mid levels, you can make, high 5 figures, sub 6 figures, which is not great, especially depending on where you live, but it's a lot better than Walmart. So I kind of considered getting into it. So then when you decide to get into something like this, you research everything, you look up all the pros and cons, you read Reddit posts by people who are doing it. And, I get a lot of mixed messages. Some people hate their job. Some people like it. Some people say AI and outsourcing and all this is replacing everything. Some people say it isn't. And I'm in this situation now where I'm 35. I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to do this thing? Do I want to do that thing? There's a couple of options. But they all require many years of school. Maybe not a lot. Maybe you only need 2 or 4 years of school. Some of them maybe 5 or 6. Which is not just a time commitment, which is important when you're this age, but also it's a money commitment with student loans and. And then I'm reading these horror stories about the job market, which I know the job market today isn't going to be the job market 5, 10 years from now, but it could be worse. I mean, who knows? So I'm in this position now where I'm 35. I have basically nothing. I have some time. I'm not 50 or 60. And even if you're 50 or 60, you could probably do some things. But I don't have, again, the luxury of trying things out. I'll spend a year doing that. I'll spend a year doing this. Maybe I could get away with that for 2 to 3 years, trying to not just sitting around thinking, but actually going after things and seeing if they work. But again, by then I'll be 37 years old, 38. I'll be almost 40 years old, just figuring out what I want. I'll be way behind the ball. My earning potential will be crippled. And there's no guarantee at the end of it to even have a job waiting. That's the reason, even during my 20s, which now is when I was 20, that's 15 years ago. Even back then, I did.
So now time is an issue for him, right? Because now he's I'm going to
go to community college. I got a community college associate's gen ed degree. It took me 4 years to get a gen ed degree from a.
He's saying now that he's 35, now he's self-sabotaging himself, saying that it's too late. What if this and what if that and what if this and what if it doesn't work out and I wasted all this time doing this? Guys, there's a way for you to reverse engineer these things. Not that you can. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody out here has a magic 8 ball where they can figure out if something's going to be worth it in the future. But even with stocks, you have the charts. You have the 1 year performance, the 3 year performance mark benchmarks. You have the 5 year, 10 year, lifetime benchmarks. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. Sure, but it's not a guarantee of the future. But I would argue it's a pretty good, decent indicator of of things. And even in engineering and in physics, guys, I got my background is in engineering and physics. I get paid to do these kinds of these big brain type things, right? None of these things are guaranteed. 2 + 2 is 4. I don't want to get too complex for you with you guys, but like, look, um, you were able to design airplanes and buildings and structures and do programming and all this kind of stuff because there's formulas that tell you that if you put in this kind of input and if you put this other kind of input in there, then the end result is going to be this. And we're very confident that's going to be this. Do this. You do the same thing with your career. Do the same thing with your future trajectory. If you're trying to make 100,000, 200,000, reverse engineer that. Reverse engineer that ish, man. What out there? What skill set do you need out there in order to make that amount of money? And once you figure that out and you've done your due diligence, go heads down and go after it, man. You can't have this mentality of, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna risk it because just in case there might be a 10% chance or that it's not gonna work out, I'm gonna waste all my time. Have backup plans. Have if you got it's called reverse engineering. Calculate that ish, man. You calculate it with everything else. Calculate it with your you could use these tactics. You could use these engineering tactics to reverse engineer the outcomes that you want with a high level of probability. It's not just for this is not just for Snook. It's for anyone out there that's listening, man. You got to address the excuses. It's either results or excuses, guys. It's not that you can't have both. Either you're going to get the results or you're going to just make excuses. And the mindset that I advocate for is let's get the results, guys. I understand the concern that he's saying here, though. I understand his concern that he's saying like, oh, what if this and what if that? It's an understandable concern, but there's also answers for that, and I just gave some of those answers. Do your due diligence. Figure out what it is you want and reverse engineer that. There are ways to reverse engineer that to ensure that those are the results that you end up getting after your efforts are put in with a high level of probability. And then if there isn't, you have backup plans and safety factors and other, plan A, plan B, plan C. Guys, be systematic about these things. You don't just, be in la la land, come on. Let's see what else he has to say.
Community college. But I didn't really take education seriously, schooling seriously, because, you're told college is worthless. College degrees are worthless. You can't get a job with a college degree. Even if you get a college degree, there are no jobs out there to get. So, and they're all lib shits in college. So I was just like culturally, I wasn't built for it. And I hate sitting in a goddamn classroom. I'm just not that kind of person. So I didn't go to college, really. I didn't really get a degree. And more importantly, I didn't get any real experience or skill sets or marketable skill sets in my 20s that I could now leverage in my 30s. And again, you hear people, I've read these stories, I'm trying to get vague, of people with like 15 years experience all over, an industry, high certifications, high credentials, and even they're having a hard time finding work. So then I'm thinking about now at 35, just potentially getting into it, not really being done with my schooling until like 39, 40 years old. It's going to take, if I want to get a bachelor's, it's going to take at least 4 years. And if I'm doing that while I'm working full time, am I going to get it done in 4 years? Maybe it takes me 5 or 6. But for a brief moment when I had decided to do this thing, a lot of the anxiety went away because I had direction that I was going to do something. But now I'm back to kind of feeling crestfallen. I didn't think about this initially. I didn't think about this until tonight, actually. And it's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I want to be a content creator. I want to be a streamer. I want to play video games. I want to crack jokes. I want to do stuff like this, talk and just chill and meet people, talk to people. I want to do that. I know it's hard to do that as a full-time job. And like I said earlier, like even if you manage to get lucky and turn it into a full-time job, you never know, which way the winds are blowing in terms of your audience. You could be really relevant and successful for a year, 2, 3, 5 years, and then no one cares anymore. You're too old. you get lazy, whatever, just the niche that you're in just is no longer viable. Like I want to do largely like video game kind of stuff. And then I'm reading lately that Gen Alpha doesn't play video games. They're playing all mobile games now. No one plays video games. So I'm like, I don't think video games will ever go away. And gamers are aging with me. Like the average gamer is like my age now. But, things like that can happen. Algorithmic changes. You say something you shouldn't and you get demonetized.
Again, he's talking about,
You're banned. I mean, I want to be kind of
he's talking about all the possible things that could go wrong. It doesn't matter what you're doing out there. There's always a possibility that things can go wrong. And that's why you have plan A's and plan B's and plan C's and plans D's and plans F's and plans E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, guys. Just because things go wrong doesn't mean you just give up on everything and just don't try anything at all and just freeze in place like a deer in headlights and not even try, right?
a funny guy. So there's that risk as well. You're still working when you're a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or whatever. There are other places like Rumble and Kick, but the two main games in town are Twitch and YouTube, and those are often worked together in tandem with each other in the streamer kind of thing. And you're working for a couple of bosses, either of which could fire you at any time. And if you're trying to be a funny guy, maybe a little edgy, there is that risk that you want to follow their guidelines and they can just turn it off overnight and you are fucked. So while I definitely do want to do this YouTube thing, and I do want to create stuff, stream, crack jokes, whatever, I can't look at it. And again, if I was 20 or 25, sure. If I was 20, try it out, do it. If you get banned or it doesn't work out in 5 years, you're 25, you can do something else. But now I'm 35. So again, we come back to that.
Okay, and here's the other thing. He's saying, okay, what if I try YouTube, or what if I try Twitch, or what if I try something else and it doesn't work and I get banned or whatever because I just want to be myself and just say whatever the hell I want, right? Which I'm all for that. But my question here is, why does it have to be either go find a job or do YouTube? Why not just do both? Plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Why not? You guys have to learn how to multitask out here, guys. It's not always do one or the other, or else learn how to do multiple things at the same time. You have 24 hours in a day, and trust me, guys, that's plenty of time to get a lot of crap done. I'm doing it myself. I'm doing all kinds of things in the 24 hours that I have. It doesn't have to be I'm all in here, or I'm gonna go all chips all in there. Do both. Risk mitigation. Your eggs don't all have to be in one basket. Work all of them at the same time. You can do a lot of things at a very high level of quality without risk, and do everything in parallel at the same time. Where did this mentality of, oh, I have to do only this or only that, or else I have to pick one or the other. Do both. Go work your full-time job, come back home at night, and do your YouTube or whatever you're streaming or whatever else you want to do. Why is that never on the table as an option? It is an option on the table. Consider that.
Once you get over that 30, it's like your time, you don't have time anymore. Or you do, but it's a lot less. And you have to start thinking more strategically about what you do with your time. And things have to have more immediate returns for you to consider them, because more immediate and secure returns to consider them, because you don't have the time. You don't have the time, you have less energy.
Hey, you don't have the time? Okay. Well, if you want the immediate returns, go work that job at the pizza place. And then when you're done with that, when you come back home, go ahead and do your streaming at night. It's something that you like to do, and it's for funsies anyways, and it shouldn't even be considered work. It's just something that you're building on the side as you have your full-time job that you go to for the immediate money to pay your bills.
So I was feeling really good about this potential new career path I'd identified for a few days. I was feeling really good. And I was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to work. I'm going to do YouTube on the side. Maybe I can build a YouTube while I'm working this thing and have dual incomes maybe or something. And then today I realized that being a content creator, especially not being a milquetoast kind of corpo advertiser friendly content creator, is a big risk. Because, you could piss somebody off, the employer could find the YouTube channel, whatever. Somehow your content creator identity gets back to your employer. And depending on the job, depending on the industry, depending on the position, how high up or low down it is, that could be a problem. You could get fired for that. They could not like some of the jokes you were making, not like some of the topics you're discussing. And when I realized that, it kind of took all the wind out of my sails, because for a few days I was riding high. I was like, oh, I think I finally have some direction. It's practical. It's tangible. It's realistic. It pays okay. It's a real thing. But if I pursue this, does that mean I have to quit doing this? Now, I haven't even really started doing this. I mean, I'm super early in this process of YouTube and content creation and all that. But if I go deeper, if I spend 4 or 5 years in school.
Hey, he says he's super early. This video came out with 2 months ago. He has 583,000 views on him talking about this video that he's titled "How I Woke Up as a 35-Year-Old Loser and How You Can Avoid It." And he already has about 23,000 subscribers. He's on his way. What would have happened if he didn't record, put himself in front of the camera and didn't record this and just put it out there? Because of all the what ifs and what if it doesn't work, pan out and whatever. So it gets 0 views. So what? No risk, no reward, guys. You guys got to go out there and just take action.
And all the while I'm working on this YouTube thing that starts picking up. What happens? What happens if I spend that time and money to go to school, get my degree, come out, get a job, and then I lose it in a year?
Even if he failed, in the process of doing it, he learned a lot. He learned how to upload the videos. He learned how to edit the videos. He learned how to talk more concisely in the videos. He picked up like 3 or 4 or 5 skills that he didn't even knew that he needed in the process of failing. That's why it's so important to take action. Just do it so that you can hurry up and learn what works and what doesn't work, right? Even if the video didn't take off, he would have learned so much just from that. So, it's almost like the mentality shift is it's a win-win no matter what.
2 years because I got doxxed or canceled or whatever. So then I was like, well, then I have to choose then. Like, I have to do this thing or I have to do YouTube. But neither option is viable. If I just did this thing and I quit YouTube, I might as well just kill myself now. I'm not advocating that. Suicide is horrible and you're devastating the lives of everyone. And people you don't even know will be harmed. And it's a temporary solution to it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. But, if I had to give up YouTube or content creation entirely, I would be miserable. I'd be working this job. I wouldn't be making a shitload of money. And I would always feel like I'm leaving my soul.
He mentioned something here. What if I get doxxed and what if I get outed and then I get fired because of the content that I'm making? So what? You know how you mitigate that? You make yourself so valuable, and so one of the ways you can mitigate that is you make yourself so skillful and so valuable out there. Do you think that just one company out there, the only company out there that needs your skills and abilities is just the company you're working for currently right now? No, there's literally tens of thousands of companies out there that are willing to pay you for your work, and a lot of them don't care about your doxes and your little doxy poxy situations and who found this out, whatever. It doesn't matter, dude. I don't care about your past history or your whatever you got going on. Can you get the work done or not? And if you're able to get it done, we need you and we want to pay you. Whatever else you got going on, we don't care. Help us get our results so we can get you paid. Can you help us or not? The rest of the stuff is white noise. There's a solution for every problem. And you guys shouldn't create a problem for every solution. Okay?
On the table. Like I'm taking my soul out, and I'm putting it in an envelope, and I'm handing it to my employer, and he's taking it and putting it in a drawer. And in exchange for that envelope with my soul in it, he gives me a paycheck each week. And probably not even a great one, to be honest. Probably just barely enough to afford a studio. And I just can't do that. I cannot do that. But equally, I cannot just be a YouTuber. For the reasons I've listed, it's too insecure. The odds of even getting to a point where you're making a decent enough living at it, it might not happen. It's very risky. It's very uncertain in terms of it ever actually taking off. And even if it does take off, it's very fickle. At any moment you could get, there are a million risks to being a content creator as your main focus. You can get canceled. They can do algorithmic changes that just make it really hard to make money if you're not making absolute dog shit slop like all these shorts we see. Don't even get me started on the shorts, dude. I could rant about that for an hour. These dudes will just take someone else's clip, some other viral clip that's just been going viral, and they'll just have their face above it, and they're not even fucking saying anything. They're just looking at it like it's the most degenerate form of content. You could have hardcore gay pornography on YouTube. It would be less degenerate than these shorts fake reactor chats because they're not even reacting. They're not saying anything. They're just making faces, and the faces aren't even legit. They're
Don't get mad at my faces, Snooks. I'm out here making all kinds of faces at the kind of stuff that you're saying sometimes, Snooks. I hope don't get mad at me, Snooks. I hope I'm not in that category.
Fake mugged faces where they're going like, They're pretending like they're holding in laughter. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You've seen these. They're pretending like they're holding in laughter while they're watching some clip that you've seen 1,000 times. They're not even sincerely reacting. They're pretending to react to a viral clip that's not even their own. It shouldn't. I don't even think it is actually allowed on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that kind of react content is against TOS because you're not adding anything. But they're everywhere.
I'm not so sure. I'm holding myself back from how I actually want to react Snooks to some of this stuff. But I mean, all I can say is props to you for being honest and just telling us what's going on with your situation, and you admitting that you're self-aware that some of the stuff that you're doing is not, was not the best route, and you're actually out here trying to make moves. I gave you props on my other reaction video to what you were saying. And I feel based off of a lot of my experiences, a lot of people out there have the mentality that and the kind of like the mindset and kind of the situation that you do, Snooks. And so, hopefully some of my points, some of my reactions and talking points in response to some of the things that you say hits home and provides solutions and different ways of thinking and mindset shifts in the better direction to help alleviate some of these problems that you might be going through and others might be going through. I have other videos on my channel that could be helpful as well. So
don't even get me started, man. So there could be algorithmic changes. You could get canceled. You could, and also even if you play your cards right, you don't run afoul of the TOS and you manage to stay on top of the algorithm game and all that, you could just lose relevance. You could just, not that I have any relevance now, but if I were able to build some, you can just lose it overnight. People are fickle. People age out of things. Generations pass, and different kinds of things become relevant. And, like, for example, think of like Asmongold. Is Asmongold going to be a big famous creator until he's 70? It's possible. If anyone can do it, it's him, because he's already built that brand and he's good at what he does. But for a lot of people, especially people who would just start at 35, can you be secure, even if you were to bust your ass off for 10 years building your online thing? Is that going to be there 10 years from that, 20 years from that? Are you going to be able to live off of that? Are you going to be able to retire off of that? It's very fickle. So I can't just be a YouTuber because I need to make money now. And I'm not going to be making that much money off of YouTube in the short term, if at all. And like I said, even if I were to make money on YouTube, it could go.
Yeah. To address what he just said here, have you guys heard of a guy named Myron Golden? He is in his late 60s he's easily making multiple millions a year. And just off of his YouTube channel, he's very open about it too. He shows his analytics and everything. At the age of 60 something years old, he started his YouTube channel at the age of 55. Just consistently cranking out one long form video a week. Myron Golden says that just from his YouTube channel, he's making, I don't know, $50,000-$60,000 a month from YouTube. And he started when he was 55. So if he's able to do it, what are you talking about? And once your videos are out there, you've created a backlog, right? Your videos are going to continue to provide you income because the content's there and it's available for people to view, and it's going to continue to provide value long after you're gone. So
go away like that. So being a pure YouTuber just isn't in the cards for me either. Just like being a pure whatever, basic normal job isn't really the thing for me either. So I don't really have an option. I don't really have an option other than to just kind of do both things. Normal job, YouTube on the side. If YouTube lets me quit my job, great. But, even that, it's like, would you want to quit your job? Probably not, because YouTube can go away. Maybe you can downsize the amount of time you're working at your job. I don't know.
He's giving you guys, he's saying that he has these options in his mind, which is great. What I would propose is, why stop there? Why stop at your job and YouTube and just those two things? The average millionaire has like 7 different streams of income coming in. He's talking about 2, one from his normal job and one from YouTube. Why stop there? There's people, if the average millionaire has 7 different streams of income, why stop at 2?
But, even so, I was kind of back. We're back. And I was like, okay, I'll just do both. And fuck, worrying about getting canceled or doxxed or whatever. I'll just do my best to kind of separate the two worlds.
That's the spirit. F worrying about all these risks and all this kind of stuff. Take risks. Make stuff happen. Good.
I'm not going to, no matter what I do, it's not going to be some super high power position in New York or whatever. It's going to be, a low level, local kind of gig. So that kind of scrutiny isn't on you as much at that level. So I could probably make it work. I could probably do the thing and do content creation if I'm fastidious about keeping the two separate. But then, so I was back. I was like, okay, I'm going to do both. And I don't care about the risks. I mean, I care about them. I'm aware of them, but I'm not going to let that stop me. And then I'm on Reddit again, reading testimonials from people in the industry that I'm looking at. And just like everywhere else, they're saying how terrible the job market is. And again, like I said, people with 15 years experience, high certifications and degrees, they can't find work. And those are like the only people who can find work. If you're going to find work, you're going to be one of those high level people, but it's even going to be hard for you. If you're an entry level, which is what I would be at 40 years old, it's real hard. Now, again, that's now. 5-10 years from now, it might not be that bad. I don't know. The trends don't look good. To me, it seems like it's just going to get worse until we have a political revolution in this country and a civil war. I mean, that's the whole other thing. Is the future is so uncertain from a civilizational perspective that just throws a monkey wrench in any plans I try to make. So I'm truly at a loss here.
The Armageddon. An Armageddon might happen, or Yellowstone National Park is a huge mega volcano. What if that goes off? It's about time. We're around that phase where that volcano might go off.
Here, I think for now I am going to pursue this thing while also doing this YouTube thing. But I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if I'll decide to switch to a different path. While I'm in school, I considered programming, but like again, programming to me seems like I think IT is the one, right, that gets outsourced and AI-fied. But like I think programming is a little bit more secure. But the problem is I'm not a programmer. I've never been a programmer. I'm not even good at math.
Dude, Snooks, you've heard of large language models, ChatGPT, Claude. You can literally tell it in any coding language that you want to, give me some code that'll provide this solution to whatever so and so, and it'll get you like 80% of the way there. I mean, augment yourself with AI. I have a video about that as well. Snooks, come on. That's not a bad route to take if you're considering.
I think I would probably like the work of if I had the aptitude for it. I think I would like programming more than this other thing. But again, programming requires a lot of math, and I'm competing with like 20-year-olds who are programmers who've been into programming since they were teenagers or younger, or at the very least since they were in their 20s. And I'm 35, and I don't know any programming, right? I know Windows. I play video games, so like I know how to do some basic. I could do IT, no problem. I'm a PC gamer, so I've troubleshooted a shitload of stuff on my own. I've helped people troubleshoot things with their games, but even as a PC gamer, I'm not super knowledgeable. It's pretty basic stuff. But then that IT thing's like IT is like a no-brainer. But then like isn't IT? That's what's getting sent to India and replaced with AI. And remember, by the time I would be ready to do it, it'd be like 5 years from now, at least a couple. And it's like that kind of those trends. I feel like will just get worse and worse. So right now, I'm kind of lost again. I'm not totally lost. I'm still looking into this thing, which I don't want to name, and I'm still gonna be doing this, and I'm gonna be working a day job. Cumberland Farms, Walmart, 2 of them, 70, 80 hours a week. It's gonna be awesome. And at some point soon, I'm probably gonna have to go back to school, get an associate's. But I'm a little terrified, scared, and I talked to my mom earlier. She was pretty good, but mothers, they tell you what you want to hear. They're nice people. They love you. Helped me a little bit, made me feel a little good, but
you don't have to go to school either to get ahead with some of the stuff either, guys. Everything you need is available to you online. YouTube videos, tutorials. There's boot camps that you can get done super quick, and it'll help you. They'll hand hold you. They're gonna charge you more, but hey, there's the free option. These things require you not to be lazy though, and it requires you to be disciplined and go heads down, and see it to the finish line, to the point where you actually land yourself a job and start getting some real world experience. But hey, do a lot of people have the discipline for it? Or are they lazy and are just going to make excuses and just stagnate and stall? So there's options. It just requires you to take action, like now.
Not enough to totally assuage my fears. So then I was like, well, the job market's terrible. I wouldn't even be making that much money anyway. I'd be 40 years old when I start really in earnest. Just do the YouTube thing full time. But then all those things I mentioned. YouTube is a long shot. In the best of conditions, it's a long shot. And even if you manage to get successful, it can be very short-lived. And I would never be the kind of person who could be like Mr. Beast and just like be a beast at YouTube. Because sure, like Mr. Beast, yeah, if you get Mr. Beast levels, you do it for 5 years, you're set for life. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should be Mr. Beast, the next Mr. Beast. Because like if you get that big, you're set for life, and you only have to work 5-10 years, and you don't have to work ever again. But again, am I going to be the next Mr. Beast? Probably not. Again, I wouldn't make that kind of content. That kind of content just doesn't appeal to me. It would feel like working a desk job. It'd just be a soulless like extraction of money for something that I'm not really invested in spiritually. So I don't know what to do. That's the whole video. This isn't going anywhere. This doesn't have a resolution yet. Maybe we'll find out in a year's time if it does. But right now I'm just scared, lost, confused, full of regret. And if anyone is younger than me, if you're like 20, 25, maybe some of what I said resonated with you, take my words to heart, dude. You don't want to wake up at 35 years old, still living at home, no real marketable skills, no real degrees, wondering if you're going to be working at Walmart until you're 75 years old, living in welfare housing with roommates. You do not want to be in that position. Now, this has been a little doom and gloom, you know.
Hey, guys, straight from the horse's mouth here. Anyone who's listening, just you guys are watching the same video I'm watching, so
I am hopeful. There is optimism here. I'm 35. It's not that old. I know a lot of people who are older would watch me and go, 35, you're so young. Well, if you're also being realistic, it's not that young. It's a lot older than 20. But I recognize that, I'm not that old. I can, as long as I get to work right the fuck now and figure out what I'm doing, which is what I'm doing right now.
Yes, that is the key. Like right now, Snooks. Not that if you, it's like game over if you don't or whatever, but like, dude, yeah, right now.
This video is a part of it. I could bounce back from this. I'll always suffer for it though. I'll never make as much money as I could have. I'll always be struggling a little, unless I like hit the lottery or something. I'll always be struggling a little bit more than I would need to. So if you're young, if you're in your 20s, get started now. Even if it's.
We did the calculation earlier in the other video. He said that he was making for 12 years he was making like $22 an hour, and we did the calculation. That's like what? That's like over the course of 12 years he made $500,000. I think, if he plays his cards right in the next 3 to 5 years, he could make double that. If he's on point easily, he can make everything that it took him to make in 12 years. He can make it like in 3 years. But it's going to require some hustle and making the right moves. And doing it now.
Here's the thing, even if it's like a boring ass field or degree, but it's got good earning potential and you can handle it, do it for 10 years until you're 30, 35 years old. You're still super young. You have a decade plus of experience under your belt. You'll probably have some money. Save it, invest it, be smart with your money so that when you hit 40, even if you don't want to continue doing what you were doing because it's kind of boring and you just did it for the paycheck, well, you're still young enough that you can kind of pivot, but you have experience working in a real field. You have some money under your belt saved and invested, so you can more comfortably pivot to something else that you'd want to do. Because trying to do that from my position, where I'm 35 and I literally have nothing. I have no money. This is so, who owes me? I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to honestly tell my story here. I'm 35 and I literally have nothing. And that is a very scary position to be in. So if you can hit 35, even if you don't like,
I estimated that he should have had at least 100,000, around there, or like 100 to 200,000 saved or invested or something. He told us that he took all that money that he made, which I think it came out to like $500,000 before taxes. Probably after taxes, probably 300,000. I mean, he should have been able to put away close to 100,000 in that 12-year span of time. He said he took his 401k, he took all the money out, he took the penalty because he took the money out ahead of time, I'm guessing, and then he paid off his Toyota car. Okay, I mean, it's not too late though. So let's see what else he has to say.
What you're doing, you can pivot from that, and you want to be able to do that with some security, money, skills, education, so that you'll have that to fall back on if you have to, or you can maybe transmute that into.
Snooks, I'm just trying to provide my input. I'm not putting you down, bro. I wish you the best. I wish you all the success. It's not too late for you. You can do this. You just gotta go after it, man. You just gotta go after it. Go after it hard from here on out. And I'm cheering for you.
To a new industry that you weren't involved in initially, that you do like. And yeah, this is, I'm sorry this doesn't have like a big resolution to it. It doesn't have a big happy ending. I'm still in the middle of the story right now.
By the way, you really do need to stop smoking and whatever all other kind of stuff you're doing, the pot or whatever. Stop doing all that. Do all this stuff with a clear, pristine, sharp mind, so you can actually get laser focused and actually just go after it.
Yeah, I guess I'm in the middle of the story, so I don't even know what's going to happen. I just wanted to get it out. I just wanted to get my thoughts out, express myself. For me, not for you. I hope it helped someone out there, but I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this just because I can talk to my mom. My dad lives in another state. I can talk to him. I'm going to talk to him on Friday. It's Wednesday or Thursday now. I'll talk to him tomorrow. So, I have those guys I can talk to. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a couple of internet friends, but internet friends, it's not the same thing as a flesh and blood connection. So I'm going to do some more soul searching. Don't have a lot of time to do it though. The clock is ticking. I may end up going for this thing I've been looking at. One thing I can tell for sure is even if I never get any subs and never get any views, never make $1 for it, I will be doing content creation in some capacity because it's what I want to do, right? It's really what I want to do. So the question is, well, why don't you just do that then? I've already explained it. Security, age. If I was 20, if I had this realization at 20, I would.
Guys, this is not just for him. It's for all of you guys. You guys, take notes, learn from other people's mistakes and the decisions that they've made, and let's go out there and crush it, guys. Let's make it happen. Go ahead and leave all your comments in the comment section. I'm super curious what you guys think about this situation. I'm curious what you think, what our buddy Snooks said. I'm curious what you think about some of my inputs that I provided. Go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. By the way, guys, if you guys missed part 1 of this reaction video, go ahead and check it out right here, guys. This was part 2. Part 1 is right here. If you guys missed it, again, check it out right here. I'll catch you guys on the next one.